Today I'm waiting for Sadie to get here. She's only 13, she's our youngest baker yet, and from what I hear, she is in dire need of help. I don't know if I can save this cake. What am I talking about? Yes, I can. I will save the cake.
I'm Sadie. I'm here because of my cake disaster.
Tell me about it.
It was my mom's birthday and I wanted to make her a cake, and the only color I had on hand was green. I made a green cake and then nobody ate it because it looked atrocious.
Okay. It isn't a nice shade of green.
I didn't want it to go to waste, so I made it into cake balls. I brought it to school and I gave my class food poisoning, so...
Are they all okay?
Yeah, they're all fine now.
Okay. So today I'm gonna teach you how to make a cake that looks like a giant cupcake.
Sounds perfect.
Okay, good. We've got a lot of work ahead of us. Here I have 3 chocolate cakes already baked, but the first thing we want to do with this cake is cut each one of them into 2 layers. Layers of chocolate cake, but we've got to prepare our top layers, which are the vanilla cake. Yay! Okay, so now this is my other favorite thing, cleaning up as I go. What's most important is that we shower these cakes with simple syrup, and we do this so that we're locking in the moisture, because cake decorating takes so long, so we want to make sure the cake is moist when your friends eat it. Okay.
A lot harder to squeeze than it looks.
Yeah, he's tough. Now I'm going to teach you how to fill and stack a cake. What you want to do is take your first largest layer, put it down in the center of your board, and then you want to take a nice dollop and you just want to spread the filling evenly on top.
I'm frosting the cake and the cake crumbs start kind of going into the frosting, which is called dredging, and Yolanda does not like dredging.
Did you ever play the floor is lava?
Yes.
So the cake is lava. Don't let your spatula hit the cake. I just keep encouraging her and asking her to hold her spatula in a different way. I think it's really difficult for people to learn how to hold the tool. Just remember to hold your spatula flat. The middle flat part is the part that's your friend. I actually have a feeling this is tall enough.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's tall enough. So this is the bottom of your cupcake cake. What we need to do is cut this on an A line. And what I like to do is just use a circle, place it on top, and then sort of mark around that circle. And then I like to use this line as a guide for cutting the A line. We're just making little cuts, and then you just on a diagonal all the way. It's easier to just cut little by little because you can always adjust. If you cut off too much, you can't put it back. Are you happy with that?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's clean this up and then I'll have you carve the top of the cake. The one thing you do want to be aware of is that you carve away all the caramelization as you go.
It is very stressful. If I cut too much off, it's gonna look bad if I try to put it back on. There's no turning back.
Despite Sadie being 13, she's definitely showing her skills, and I think she's doing quite well. Okay, so now we're gonna clean up, and I'm gonna teach you how to crumb coat and chill. So what you wanna do is you wanna apply a thin layer of ganache in this case.
I crumb coat my cakes pretty often, but something that I struggle with is I get super impatient and I probably don't wait long enough for it to chill.
Ganache is quite sturdy, so it's actually harder to spread. I shouldn't have given her the harder one first, but I did. For the top of the cupcake, she is crumb coating in Italian Meringue Buttercream. It's much easier, much softer. Do you want some? So the first thing I want to do is help you just attach this board to the bottom of the cake. Now you need to ice the cake. So similar to the crumb coat, but this time you need to get it as smooth as possible. And you can also use this, which is a bench scraper, if you need more help. This icing is to ensure that both the cake is smooth and will help secure the fondant to the cake. This looks great. Once it's chilled, we're gonna move on to fondant. Okay, Sadie, so you're gonna roll out fondant to cover the bottom of your cake. And it's really important to knead fondant. So I just like to use the palms of my hands and like press it into the counter. Then you can do some of the work ahead of time by sort of flattening it with your thumbs and your fingertip. And then we move on to a rolling pin. And basically what you're gonna want is you want it to be about 1/8 of an inch thin, okay? Because you don't want it to be so heavy. It's very sweet. So the thicker it is, the sweeter it is. How do you feel? It's like a workout.
Yeah.
Right? So now what you need to do is pick up this sheet of fondant and drape it over this whole cake, okay? So your aim is really important. Don't look that scared. You can do it. You're gonna pick this up, you're gonna drape it over.
I'm so nervous. I do not want to ruin the cake. We've come so far already, and I can't mess it up now.
I feel like Sadie needs some encouragement here. You can do it! Drape. Yes! Oh no. Okay, hold on.
Oh my gosh. Is this the end of the cake?
I don't want to break Sadie's heart. If this was me, I would have immediately ripped that fondant off and started again. We're gonna plow through this. We're gonna fix it. Half of being a cake decorator is knowing how to problem solve. If we can stretch this, we can solve it. So you see what happens. As soon as you drape, it's like it wants to pull down. So now what you're gonna do is you're gonna start to smooth this fondant up against the cake. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna help you drag this fondant down the sides, okay? You did such a good job for your first time. We're gonna work through it. So now what we need to do is mimic the lines, like you know how cupcake papers are all folded? So we're gonna mimic those lines. And to create a template for the top, I have a circle of paper and we're gonna kind of fold it like a pie. And when you unfold it, you have all these markings. You can line it up on top of your cake. And then what you wanna do is just make a mark at every single one of these lines. So what you're gonna do is line the ruler up with that mark, and then you're gonna carry that line all the way up.
Making the dents is hard because you have to measure it exactly to make sure that they're spaced out evenly. I'm super scared that I'm gonna make it really uneven, but I know it has to be done to make the cupcake as realistic as possible.
I don't think this is what she signed up for. I think she thought, oh, a fun activity! And it's pretty much school, but with cake in it. Okay, it's looking good. It looks like a cupcake paper. The next thing you need to do is trim away this excess fondant on the top because it's just gonna make the cake wonky once we flip it over. It doesn't really need to be there. So this is gold luster dust. And this is just alcohol. Do you know why we use alcohol to paint rather than water?
No.
You failed. No, it's because alcohol evaporates faster than water. And because fondant is mainly made out of sugar, you don't want to over wet it because the water just eats away at it. So you want to use something like alcohol to dilute this and turn it into a paint and paint the fondant. How does it feel? How does it feel? Oh, did you see that? You were being hypnotized by stirring gold.
Look at it.
I know. Yes, I won Sadie over. She's enjoying herself. Now I'm her favorite teacher. So the best tip I can give you is because the stripes run up and down here, you don't want to go against the grain. So you want to paint this up and down. And then basically we just take this gold and paint it on.
Perfect.
I think it's a little too brilliant, you know? We don't want to hurt our eyes. Oh, yes. Look at it.
Magnificent.
I started the sweetest book club ever, and we called it the Bake Book Club. When you join our Bake Book Club, you get a new book sent to your door every single month. You also get access to our exclusive Facebook group, where we do Q&As with the authors, bake-alongs, have discussions, I answer your questions. It's a whole community of people who love to bake just like you do. I'm having so much fun with our current members, and it's truly a community of friends and fellow bakers that you can grow with. I really hope to see you there. Click the link here to join today. So I was thinking in the end, when this is a cupcake, it would be really beautiful if there were chocolate curls on the cupcake. But we're gonna make chocolate curls out of modeling chocolate. Modeling chocolate is just chocolate and corn syrup melted together, and then you let it come back to a solid state, and you can knead it just like you do fondant, except it's a little bit firmer. So what we wanna do is roll this out in bits, nice and thin. And then basically, we are just gonna cut shapes. They don't have to be perfect because chocolate curls are in any shape really. And then we can use this tool, which is called a cell stick, and we're gonna use it to curl our chocolate. Okay, Sadie, so this is where it gets intense. It's time to flip this cake right side up. So the first thing we're gonna do is you're gonna spread a bit of royal icing here. And why we're using royal icing is it just dries rock hard, so it's the perfect glue. So now what you wanna do is flip this board down onto the cake. Then you just take a breath, count to 3, and flip fast, okay?
I think that Yo has got this one. I will watch her.
1, 2, 3. This is what nobody understands. Cake decorating requires so many subjects: math, fitness, science, art, geography. So here is the cake, and the first thing you want to do is find the center of the cake. We're going to insert the dowel into the cake straight down. The next thing we want is a board in between, and this board is going to support the other cake.
This is so complicated.
Building a cake, there's so many steps before you get to that final result, and they're all very important. So before we add the board, we're going to spread some royal icing. This is tricky. It's not fun, right? It feels very scary to put one cake on top of the other. Do you feel comfortable?
Why not?
Okay, good. That's the spirit. All right.
Okay.
You ready? I'm gonna hold this in place. Use the spatula to help you, and use your hand to help you. Okay, and get it into the. There we go. You made it. Now pull that straight out.
Way to go!
You did it! This is the fun part, Sadie. So I was thinking the easiest way for you to get the buttercream on the cupcake is to pipe it on, and then I'll teach you how to use a small spatula and just create some nice texture. Sound good?
Yep.
Okay. I taught her how to fill a piping bag, I showed her how to pipe, and now it's all on her.
I kept running out of frosting in my thing, and my fingers are getting really messy and sticky.
She covered the cake completely. She also covered her hands completely and the counter completely. This wooden counter has never been this moisturized. That wasn't part of the assignment. The hard part is done. Now it's all fun. So we're gonna finesse this buttercream so it looks like you just effortlessly iced this cupcake. So what you wanna do is just use a small offset spatula, and then you can just sort of swirl the icing. Okay, how are you feeling? You like it? Think it looks like a cupcake?
Love it.
This is more for me than you because I love donuts. And I was thinking, you know what would be great on a cupcake? A donut. So you can choose a donut and use it as the topper of your cupcake. But before that, we're actually gonna do a nice chocolate drizzle. and then you can top it with a donut, and your beautiful chocolate curls, you can place them as if they were just sprinkled onto the cupcake.
So right now the cake is looking amazing, and I'm very tempted to even take a bite out of it.
This cupcake is more than enough to redeem Sadie in front of her classmates. This is very impressive. Okay, Sadie, today's the big day. How are you feeling?
I'm nervous because I don't know what they're expecting. They're definitely not expecting a giant cupcake. I know that for sure.
I hope they're ready to see this.
I don't think they are. I really need to redeem myself to them.
I feel like you're not ready. Are you ready, Sadie?
I'm definitely ready.
Let's do it.
That's so cool! I think it's amazing, and it's so detailed, and the gold.
Yeah, I love the goals.
My cake has definitely been saved.
Sadie, for your final report card, I'm giving you an A. You did great.
So proud of you. It's so light and fluffy and delicious.
Thank you.
This was a lot of work for a day off of school. When do you leave school with a giant cupcake? Cake school is so much better. Another day, another cake saved. Class dismissed.